Hi, everybody. This is Soul Level Astrologer Mark Borax with the Cosmic Weather Report live for Wednesday, August 14th, Year of the Dragon. The big astrological news this month is Jupiter square Saturn. It's not an exceptionally rare astrological aspect, but it's a strong one because whenever somebody asks me, how do I find what I'm here to do? What's the meaning of my life? The planets of meaning in the birth chart are Jupiter and Saturn. They really provide purpose and meaning. But with all celestial forces, they hold that information in mystic corridors, in channels of your consciousness that you can't always get to. So it takes some work to retrieve them. And when they're in a square aspect, it's a foundational moment. The square is August 19th, which is 5 days from today. And a square is a pressurized aspect. You could think of, like in Star Wars, being inside a room where the walls are closing in on you, all four walls. I don't know exactly how that could ever happen. Maybe just two walls could close in on you. And the closing in is designed to get you to firm up and stand your ground, claim your truth. So this is really a challenging, pressurized, truth-claiming moment that we're living in, and if you've been involved in situations that are frustrating or indirect and pressurized but blurry, the more Jupiter and Saturn, the closer we get to Jupiter and Saturn in the next few days, the sharper that pressure will come into focus. And pressure can be useful because it takes a lot to get a person at this time, maybe at any time, but certainly at this time in world consciousness, it takes a lot to live your truth. Well, first of all, it may take a lot to even know your truth. So you can't really fully live your truth if you don't even know what it is. And especially relative truths regarding pressurized situations. So if things are heating up, if the pressure is building, that may not be a bad sign, because it can weigh you down so that you can find your own rightful ground and claim it and stand on it, to galvanize your inner forces that might not normally be galvanized if there wasn't pressure. When Jupiter squares Saturn, the future is squaring off with the past. Saturn holds the consciousness of where you've been, your earlier stages of your current life, as well as your past lives. Saturn holds the memory and the origin of what's come before. And the power that Saturn holds is the foundational impulse of your soul when it first chose to become human. Think about it. If you go back through your last life that you had before your soul was living in the current body, and if you go back to the life you had before that and before that, eventually you'll arrive at the original impulse of your soul when it broke off from cosmic consciousness to first become a human being and entered the womb of a woman and then was born and lived and died, went back to spirit for a time, then came back and was born again and lived and died and then went back to spirit. And throughout this reincarnational arc of development, there's always something old and something new. The something old is your soul itself. I see your soul as your core nature, the most essential part of you, like an inner beacon, a sacred flame. And that part of you has been human before, but in other times, in other lives, in other centuries, in other places, in other genders. And but your current individual nature has never been here before, and I don't think it's ever going to be here again. So your soul has to find out all over again what it's all about in this new life, in this new body. And that involves figuring out how much the world has changed since your last life, or your last most most impactful life, because the world has changed since then. So knowing the past isn't quite like reading about everything that happened in each of your past lives in a book. It's not that kind of knowing. It's rather sensing and intuiting and digging around to unearth your leftover issues and unresolved wounds and incomplete initiations. When we come back, we start all over again, but we're not totally new either. We carry emotional energies and superconscious memories, mostly contained in the body rather than the mind. And what we need to know about Saturn is how to get right with our past. You can sense the places where you might not yet be right with your past by the places where you may feel kind of haunted or hounded and plagued, especially when beginning a new start in some particular area. Oftentimes it's love relationship, but it's not limited to that. It can be money and work and health and family and creativity, where you don't quite get a fully fresh new start when some new cycle is about to begin. And there might feel to be a fadedness, like a sense of it's not going to work out great again, because some part of you remembers earlier lives when that kind of a situation didn't work out that great. And you carried that stuff through your life, didn't resolve it. When that body died, a certain amount of that energy gets reborn with you in your current life. When Jupiter squares Saturn, the origin of your soul and the foundations of where you've been and your leftover issues are facing down the destiny that your soul incarnated for, your greatest optimal future. And Jupiter holds that vision of the most you can be. And Jupiter's pull is constantly trying to grow us to fulfill our most expanded self, our most rightful expansion. I'm not talking about ego puffery, blowing up the self to the great dictator, but the most rightful expansion, your high cosmic knowing, your greater nature, your higher consciousness, what your life would become if you were following your optimal trajectory rather than any lesser arc of reincarnation. So they're squaring each other. The where you've been is squaring off with where you're intended to be, and the pressure can strengthen you to claim your bright future, claim your creative impulse. And I mean, you might as well, because life as we know it in the physical plane is severely challenged right now. And just about for all the wrong reasons. I'm not saying life right now all over the planet is severely challenged because Trump might be president again, or fascist dictators are ruining everything, or that we're burning fossil fuel. I feel that the main reason why global life is severely challenged right now is because millions, maybe billions of people have been hoodwinked into living their artificial existence rather than absolutely manifesting their truth. That's what's being severely challenged now, and it's a brainwashing maneuver designed to keep people in a state of fear, in which they come to doubt themselves, doubt their value, they doubt their worth, they doubt that they're ever going to blossom and flourish and be ecstatically happy. There's the fear is being broadcast by conscious and unconscious forces in the media and the government. And it's designed to keep people in controlled. And so really, at a stage like this, if it's really all as bad as it looks, and if it's only going to get worse, you might as well just fully live your truth then. Because if all we have is a few more years, decades, years, months, days, minutes, seconds, if all we have left is not a whole lot to hope for in the ways that most earlier generations, most earlier generations, when times were really, really hard for them, still had the sense that this too shall pass. And if it doesn't, and if this hardness gets worse and worse, and I die, and my family dies, and my tribe and my people die, it's still going to be new generations. The earth is still going to flourish. We don't have that so much. And I think it makes our current period unusual, because there isn't a sense in most people that this personal dilemma and frustration, all the pressures I'm experiencing financially, physically, emotionally, sexually, politically, familially, governmentally, bureaucratically, are going to pass, and then things are going to get great. That's not a sense that we really have. And so whatever personal pressures and dilemmas might be descending upon you now, there's the double whammy of even if I can make it through this crazy shit that's going on in my life or in my marriage or with my children, is there going to be any world left by the time I make it out? Is there going to be any humanity? Is going to be any air to breathe, any water to drink, any happiness and safety available? So when Jupiter squares Saturn now and getting stronger towards the 19th of the month, it takes extra willpower and inner peace to truly believe in the grand scheme of what your soul is achieving in the cosmic picture. And in the cosmic picture doesn't end at death. From the cosmic side of things, death is no big deal because you've done it. You've done it before. You're going to do it again. You're going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone you love is going to die. Well, one day, Earth is going to die. The sun is going to die. Everything dies. But how's that? What's that Bruce Springsteen song? Atlantic City, that the band covered. Everything dies, baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. And what dies is your body and your current life, but your soul just gets reabsorbed into spirit, into oneness. So death is really a great birth, because really the only thing that dies at death is your body and the fabrication that all you are is your human nature. You're just one little person contained inside the envelope of your own skin. And that dies. When your body dies, the fiction dissolves that you were just this one little separate being rather than a part of the whole integrated universe. And then your soul reintegrates with the universe. And so from the cosmic side of things, what your soul is achieving in the grand scope, in your reincarnational arc, is the furthering of your love mission. Every soul that incarnates on this planet has a mission of love. How to live and fashion and be true to the love that's in you, the Shakti, the Chi, your soul force, your life force. How to be absolutely true to the art of being yourself. How to use life to express the love that you are. And there's no one way to do that. So each time the soul comes back again, you have to find out all over again, what is it to be human? What is it to be you? What is it to be alive? How can you express your inner truth? How can you stay faithful to what you know to be true, regardless of what everyone else is doing, or even if everyone else is thinking that you're crazy? In my life, I've had a whole lot of people thinking that I'm crazy. And now at this time in my life, I'm about to turn 70 years old. I probably have more people on the planet thinking I'm fucking crazy than I've had at any other previous time. And that's saying a lot. But yet I have this irrepressible, indefatigable, burning flame in me to be true to myself. And we might as well do that now, as Jupiter's squaring off from the past. You might as well take the bold, audacious leap that there's something beautiful in store for you. there's something great coming. And it begins when you inhabit that radiating inner core of, you mean I get to be me? The me that I am? The deepest, most primal, foundational, authentic self. That this Mark Boraxness is just a vehicle. It's just a vessel, an instrument of, I get to live that. I get to be my love and just keep burning and staying with that, regardless of what else is happening until I die. Yeah. That is what I mean. That's what we teach in the College of Visionaries and Wizards, which includes a 3-year chart study program where I teach students from around the world how to live by the soul through studying the birth chart. And the current 3-year class of students is beginning their final year in September, which means in the following September of 2025, we're going to be launching a new 3-year class of students. So if you're interested in that, go to markborax.com, read about it, read about the College of Visionaries and Wizards chart study program. You can email us if you have questions. And the whole system of soul level astrology is predicated on the idea that there's a deep core part of you that knows exactly who you are, what you're doing, why you came here, where you're going, and how to get there. Even if other parts of you forget that or don't know that, the soul in you does not forget. But because you're human, like all the rest of us, other parts of you forget. Your mind, your ego mind, and your daily consciousness, your intellect may be clueless or even working in opposition to the love that your soul came here to express. When I'm giving a reading or teaching classes on how to give readings, I'm basing it on the idea that there's this deep part of you that knows exactly who you are and why you've come here, more than I could ever know. And if I can get you in touch with that deep soul part of you, if I can portray in words what I'm seeing and feeling and sensing about your core nature and express that back to you, and if it resonates with the deep inner part of you, then it's your soul that's giving me all the information. Your soul is the ventriloquist, and I'm the ventriloquist's dummy. Your soul is the one talking, and my mouth is moving, and I'm giving it back to you. There's a powerful regeneration available in the strangeness of our time, in the year of the dragon, when an inner flame is trying to ignite in the species a counterforce to the programming and the fear and the control and the surveillance. Really, we need to wage solitary revolutions. We need to wage revolutions of one by daring yourself to be true to your love, to follow your heart, to speak your truth, to not back off when you know that you're right, no matter how many people challenge you, spread lies about you, misunderstand you, reject you, abandon you, no matter how you get socially exiled, the only counterforce to fear and control and surveillance is love. You have to love yourself enough to feel your truth makes a difference. And if you don't know your truth, then you have to spend your energy now getting in touch with it. However strange and confusing and problematic it all gets now, something deep within you was prepared for this many lifetimes ago. And that power is stirring in your soul. And the current drama of Jupiter square Saturn, the current drama of the future facing down the past, can help you dig in and remember who you are. We're still offering $200 off my 60-minute soul level astrology readings to celebrate my 40th year in astrology till the last day of summer. You can get in touch with me to find out how to book yourself one of those readings. Normally, my 60-minute soul level readings are, I think, $539, something like that. And we're offering now for $239, something like that. You can find out about that on markborax.com. My new book is still available. The Ruby Heart of the Dragon, Sun Signs for Our Times. It's out in paperback and audio and ebook. Thank you for joining us. I'll be back. I'll be back next month. This has been Soul Level Astrologer Mark Borax with the Cosmic Weather Report live Wednesday, August 14th, Year of the Dragon. Jupiter square Saturn, the future squaring off the past. Stand and deliver. Take care, everybody.